Batman Arkham Asylum, the game that revolutionized both the superhero game genre and the console generation it released on. To this day, it remains a popular favorite. Players praise the level design, combat, stealth, voice acting, music, and overall atmosphere. But in recent years, I've seen an odd claim come to light from detractors. Batman Arkham Asylum allegedly doesn't give Batman a character arc. Let me cut to the chase. I couldn't disagree more. In fact, I don't understand how a story that fails to deliver anything compelling to say could stand the test of time as Arkham Asylum has. Today, I aim to lay this criticism to rest by dissecting the story arc of Arkham Asylum and Batman's role in it. We'll use Blake Snyder's Save the Cat beat sheet, a popular tool for screenwriters to aid them in structuring their stories. It's not the only story structure out there, but it's one that Arkham Asylum fits very well. Beat 1. Opening image. We watch Batman leave Gotham and enter Arkham Asylum, accompanied by Joker. Beat 2. Setup. As Batman leads Joker deeper and deeper into the asylum, it serves as a striking visual metaphor of the minds of the inmates. The asylum's layout is sporadic, full of complex corridors and frightening architecture. It feels less like a real place and more like a nightmare. The tone of the story is quickly established as surreal and creepy, and often the environments will be used to assist the narrative in supporting character development. Beat 3. Theme stated. Batman's first exchange with Joker is when he asks,
"Tell me something. You've never let me catch you this easily. What are you really after?"
Oh, nothing much. Hundreds dying in pain and fear. All their meaningless lives brought to a horrifying conclusion. All thanks to you and a book of matches.
Joker later reiterates by telling Batman,
"Don't be a stranger. You're always welcome here."
the theme of Arkham Asylum is insanity. It's established by the location, plot points, and even dialogue, but more on that later. The point is, insanity is what Batman will wrestle with over the course of the story. Joker, the primary antagonist, strives to prove one thing: Batman belongs in the asylum. Sure, he also orchestrates a number of bizarre crimes over the course of the night, but you'll notice that he never seems too distraught when Batman foils his plans. It's because those aren't what he's really after. At many points of the story, Joker has the opportunity to kill Batman but chooses not to. Why? Because in the end, this is a mind game, a twisted thought experiment.
I just wanted to bring down your grim facade and for once let you see the world as I see it. Giggling in a corner and bleeding.
Beat 4. The Catalyst. Joker escapes. He begins to let prisoners out of their cells. The authority figures are quickly overwhelmed, and Batman, a man working well outside the law, becomes the only hope of restoring order. It's ironic, like all good stories are. Is a man dressed like a bat really the most qualified person for the situation? Yes. He will be the most effective deterrent because he understands the criminally insane more than anyone. And though he urgently resists it, this fact will call his own sanity into question. Maybe he works so well at Arkham because, just maybe, Arkham is where he belongs. Beat 5. The Debate. Batman slowly learns that Joker intended to be captured and brought to the asylum all along. He was planning an island-wide breakout and riot, forcing Batman into one of the worst evenings of his career. Batman grapples with bargaining. Maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe he can stop Joker before it gets out of hand. Joker even gives Batman the opportunity to kill him. Batman readies a batarang, knowing that if he kills Joker, it will not only save him a lot of grief, it will also probably save lives. Though it's not stated, as Batman speaks sparingly, we can imagine that Batman is jaded. He's clearly not a young man anymore. He's seen Joker kill Jason Todd and paralyze Barbara Gordon. I believe in this moment, Batman is considering it, but ultimately, he lets Joker go. The game is on. Beat 6. Break into Act 2. When he spares Joker and allows him to continue his scheme, Batman enters the upside-down world. The security and order of the asylum are gone, replaced with unadulterated madness. Commissioner Gordon and Quincy Sharp are abducted by Harley Quinn. The inmates have taken over the asylum, and until Batman stops them, there is no going back. Beat 7. B-Story. The B-Story is where we find the nugget of truth, the discussion of the theme. In Arkham Asylum, it's where Batman meets Scarecrow. The nightmares Batman undergoes are separate from the main story, but do a great deal of character development. When Batman is under the influence of Scarecrow's toxin, he hallucinates his worst fears. In the first nightmare, we learn that Bruce Wayne is still haunted by his parents' death. At first, it's unclear what this has to do with the theme of the larger story, of course, being insanity, but trust me, it will tie together later. Beat 8. Fun and games, also known as the promise of the premise. This is where the fun of the concept is taken full advantage of, Batman navigating an asylum overtaken by his greatest enemies. He defeats Bane and Harley Quinn and rescues Gordon. He learns about the Titan formula, an upgraded compound of Bane's venom, so basically steroids on steroids. Needless to say, Batman does everything in his power to stop Joker from taking advantage of Titan. It's clear that Joker is attacking Batman on all fronts. He is a great antagonist because he pushes Batman to his absolute limits. Beat 9. Midpoint. Batman gets the upper hand. He finds and destroys the Titan formula. Without it, Joker has less power over the island, and it seems that all Batman has left to do is clean up the loose ends. But it's a false victory that leads us directly to Beat 10. Bad guys close in. Joker sends Victor Zsasz to get the formula from Dr. Young. Batman is once again sent into a nightmare by Scarecrow's toxin. This time, for the only time in the game, we play as Bruce Wayne outside of the Batman costume. This is Bruce as a child, and it's the night of his parents' murder. Once again, we see how haunted he is by the death of his parents, how much this event is embedded in the DNA of the Batman. Sometimes Batman's stoic nature can be misinterpreted as a lack of emotion, but we can clearly see how affected he is by the asylum as well as his own past. In spite of this, he needs to keep his emotions together. He can't let his enemies see how frightened or angry he is, because if he does, the Batman is no longer a myth. He's just a man. Paul Dini and Rocksteady did a masterful job at allowing Batman to maintain his stoic demeanor while cluing players into his deeper psyche. They used the rule show don't tell. Batman's character development is given through environmental storytelling and Scarecrow nightmares rather than monologues and excessive dialogue. As Batman continues, it starts to seem futile. Joker gets what he needs from Dr. Young, then kills her. Joker is creating a threat greater than even Batman would be able to handle, an army of Banes. Harley Quinn, meanwhile, releases Poison Ivy from her cell. And while Batman has small victories, such as defeating Harley eventually and freeing Warden Sharp, his failures are equally prominent. Batman is losing ground in this battle. Beat 11. All is lost. Batman hits a low point when his goal to stop Joker goes from difficult to nearly impossible. Joker has the Titan formula and is using it on his thugs to transform them into gigantic beasts. Poison Ivy has overtaken the island with vines. The most dangerous of inmates have been released, and Batman's only choice is to find the spores necessary to create a cure for the Titan formula. These spores happen to be beneath the asylum in Killer Croc's lair. It's quite fitting that in order to hit his low point, Batman is forced to venture to the physical low point of the asylum. On his way, he has a final Scarecrow nightmare. This time, it is Batman who is being wheeled into the asylum on a gurney. Of the inmates, he seems to be the most insane. He sees mad reflections of himself. He sees the version of himself that belongs to the asylum. Finally, we see Batman's deepest fear. It fits perfectly in line with the theme of the game. He fears that this is where he belongs. When I've made this case in the past, I've been told these are just headcanons. How? Does Scarecrow's toxin work differently in the Arkhamverse? Does it not show Batman's greatest fears, but rather just random pieces of his subconscious? No, I refuse to believe that Paul Dini's intention wasn't to use these segments to illustrate Batman's psyche. Sometimes storytellers don't get enough credit. I promise you that neither the placement of these nightmares nor their contents are accidental or coincidental. They paint a picture of Batman's character. They reveal what he is too stoic and possibly afraid to voice aloud. During this segment, Scarecrow even chimes in,
"Why fight it, Batman? You're as crazy as the rest of us."
It's worth noting that all of these themes and fears were carried into Arkham Knight. The fear of becoming as mad as the Joker becomes far more literal as the series progresses. Even the image of Batman being wheeled into the asylum on a gurney is literally Batman's final mission. But that's a discussion for a different time. The point is that this is where Batman's objective seems the most impossible. Beat 12. The Dark Night of the Soul. He wanders the sewers being hunted by Killer Croc, a reversal of Batman's normal encounters. Rather than being a predator of the night, he is the prey. He is more submerged in the asylum than ever before, and the stakes are higher than ever. Beat 13. Break into Act 3. Batman successfully evades Killer Croc and gets the spores he needs. In perhaps my least favorite mission of the game, he stops Joker from polluting the water supply. This mission feels really out of place. It feels less like a critical piece of the story and more like a way to elongate the runtime. It breaks the flow of the structure and doesn't have much of anything to say about its world or characters. Next, Batman creates a cure and defeats Poison Ivy. He now has the tool he needs to defeat Joker, but he only has one shot to make it count. Beat 14. Finale. Though the boss fight with Joker is, well, kind of a joke in its own right, the context surrounding it is interesting. Commissioner Gordon has been recaptured off-screen and brought back to Arkham Island. It's a bizarre plot point and an unnecessary one, but it doesn't break the story either. Joker reiterates the theme. He can't understand how Batman is keeping it together. His goal to prove that Batman belongs in the asylum is failing, so he tries one final-ditch effort. Joker tries to inject Gordon with Titan, but Batman jumps in the way. As Batman begins to change, Joker injects himself as well. The thought of a Titan-infused Batman and Titan-infused Joker battling on the roof of the asylum is one of pure madness, perfect for Joker's conclusion. But Batman has one dose of antidote. He uses it on himself. Joker can't believe that Batman would cure himself rather than his enemy. Logistically, Batman is in a direly outmatched situation. A man against a monster, a David versus a Goliath. But Batman refuses to get crazy as Joker demands. He refuses to become a monster. He refuses to become one with the asylum. When Joker asks,
Ready for the next round?
I don't believe he simply means another round of this particular fight. He means another night this chaotic. Another mind game that will drive Batman to the brink. Batman replies,
Always.
What?
I'll never let you win.
And he defeats the Joker. Beat 15. Final image. Let me read the description of this beat. It's the opposite of the opening image, proving visually that a change has occurred within the character. At the beginning, Batman entered the asylum with Joker. At the end, Batman leaves the asylum alone. He has proven that he does not belong here with his enemies. He is something more. He is the Batman. Character arcs don't have to be tectonically transformative. They simply have to show that the character has overcome something or changed in some way. In Arkham Asylum, Batman overcomes the external forces instigated by Joker as well as the internal fears within himself. Some will say that these are just headcanons, yet it's a story that even 15 years later still stands as one of the greatest Batman stories ever told, and I have a hunch that it will continue to do so. I love stories that show rather than tell. Some of my favorite films such as John Wick and Mad Max follow this trend. I prefer when I have to pay attention to the structure of a story to understand the character rather than listen to expository dialogue. This is one of Arkham Asylum's strengths. I've seen some express a wish that this game had followed its source material, A Serious House on a Serious Earth, more closely. Personally, I think the game strikes an amazing balance between the obscure and frightening themes of that story and the fun and satisfying gameplay. I can't even imagine how Rocksteady, especially in 2009, could have done a better job. Sure, it feels a bit more mainstream than A Serious House on a Serious Earth, but the thematic material is all still there. And if the game had been more niche, I doubt that it would have enjoyed the mainstream success that it did. In the end, Arkham Asylum is a game that understands Batman and gave him a very unique journey to go on. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.